Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am your humble host, Gavin the Kitty, and today I am playing Mega Man 1 and 2. We did Mega Man 1 and 2 for Game Boy. We did Mega Man 3, 4, and 5 for Game Boy. We did 6 all the way down to 3. We've done 7, 8, Mega Man and Base, 9, 10, and 11. And it's finally time we clear this up before we get to the spin-offs. Hope I'm sounding good. Hope everybody's doing a great day. Let's just jump in with Mega Man 1, shall we? Also, I have Casey with me.
I was about to go. I was hoping you didn't introduce me so I could just say, also, I'm here.
Alright, yeah, we have people going in the chat. They're pumped for 1 and 2 today.
Chronobird, right on time. Skylar says, hello, Gavin and Casey.
Hello.
Karmic says they like the remix.
Yeah, that was a lovely Genesis remix of Time Man. We won't be getting to power it up for a little while, but, that's okay, because I believe that is 2 weeks away. So, lots of time.
And finally, Chronobird saying hello.
Hello, 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 everybody. Hope everybody's doing a lovely job. This is going to be a pseudo speedrun, because we practiced Mega Man 1 and 2. We're also going to be playing on the Legacy Collection. I'm not fooling you this time. This actually is the Legacy Collection running on my PS5.
Okay, that Sniper Joe just stood still like for 5 whole seconds.
So if you shoot a Sniper Joe, they actually will just stand there with their shield up. They will never lower it. That was programmed into the code on purpose. They didn't want people to cheese it. They wanted them to learn how to deal with an enemy that fights back. It's weaker than a boss, but it's not quite a mini-boss. Which is fair.
Sure, at times feels like one.
At times it does.
Well, anyways, we got Skylar asking if you heard about the Mew Boardwalk coaster at Cedar Point. That it's reopening.
Shrug? Question mark? I don't follow roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. I get terribly scared on them, and so I don't follow them. Here's a little trick for you. If you manage to collect this extra life, jump over there, get all the way up top there, which this is a tricky jump. You can respawn the extra life. We can also despawn a Sniper Joe if you can get him to jump off screen. Now this guy will never despawn. He actually spawns in right there, but he jumps forward. Because he's sneaky like that.
Chronobird asks if you're feeling better.
I am feeling a little better, but I'm sure I still do not sound great.
The Space Boy has jumped in and said hello.
Hello, welcome.
Karmic says, he's just standing there, menacingly.
Of course. So this is Bomb Man. Bomb Man is a demolitions robot. He was made by Dr. Light for the benefit of humanity. Since this is the first game, we actually have the full story here. So Dr. Light created 2 robot masters, Rock and Roll, alongside Dr. Wily. However, after Dr. Light won the Nobel Peace Prize for creating the robot masters in the first line of 6 bots that really helped the world grow and prosper, Dr. Wily grew jealous for not having that same amount of expertise, seeing as he was a programmer and a roboticist all the same who worked alongside him. And he took the 6 robot masters and reprogrammed them for his own nefarious deed, and eventually is basically holding the world hostage with rampaging robots with broken AI to hopefully get the recognition he thinks he deserves. Rock, feeling a strong sense of justice, or Mega, depending on your translation, pleads with Dr. Light to build him into a combat robot to help save humanity, because Rock's programming says he is a helper bot built to help humanity, and if humanity needs help, he's gonna go do it. So that's what he's doing. He's going and stopping his 6 brothers to hopefully set the world right, and by the end of the game, they are rebuilt and repurposed for their original functions. So let's go ahead and just mosey on into Guts, man, as you could probably get caught up on chat for a bit, because, yeah.
You're fine. Motobug says, yo, I honestly play this game too often.
That's fair. I end up touching this game way more than I think I am, and then I'm like, oh, well then that was a half hour of my day wasted. What am I gonna do with the rest of it? These platforms are fun.
They are fun. It was a big struggle for me when I first started playing this, chat. I actually beat this game with the help of Gavin. Thank you very much, by the way, for that.
I like Mega Man a lot, so I mean, it was only natural. It was only natural I'd get around to teaching people how to play this game properly.
Let's see here. Spaceboy says, why YouTube more bugged on the phone than PC? I've been noticing that as of recently. Have you?
Yeah, I have. Sometimes audio just won't play for me sometimes, and that's weird because it's like never happened in my phone is fairly new too, so I'm like, what is going on?
Mine overheats.
That's odd. Okay. Yeah, no, YouTube on the phone is just weird. So,
yeah.
We're in Gutsman stage, and this is essentially a construction site that Gutsman is kind of sort of just taken over. He doesn't really have a claim here, but he's wrecking everything that they worked so hard on. This was at one point a very level surface, but Gutsman bouncing and hopping around here, wrecking through boulders, buried himself underground, so that's where we're gonna have to check.
Let's see here. Motobug says, I'm so used to their Japanese name, Bomberman, but I felt wrong hearing the name Bombman, even though it's written like that, even in the Japanese version.
Their Japanese name is not Bomberman. Bomberman is a completely different character made by Hudson Soft. They've got their own series. It has absolutely nothing to do with Mega Man.
I was about to say.
Yeah, no, it's Bombman. It's always been Bombman, always will be Bombman. Sorry.
Alright, let's see here. Chronobird asks, oh, they say, hey Casey, would you like to tell which Robot Master is your favorite? You mean which one is the most annoying?
Hey, Casey, actually, let me double check the audio here. Can you back away from the mic just a little bit?
Okay. Sorry about that.
Somewhere in between there is a nice happy medium where you're about on par with me, but like right now you're peeking the mic constantly.
I'm so sorry.
There it is again. You're just barely getting that threshold of my ears for me being it too loud.
Is this better?
No. Just stand at a reasonable pace of your mic. I'm sure it'll fix itself.
Joking aside, though, my favorite Robot Master in this, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm trying to think what it is.
So Casey has a lot of experience playing Mega Man 1, and so do I. So here's a little rundown for you. If you're starting out Mega Man 1, Cutman is your best go-to for, starting, learning, and, getting to know how this game works. He takes a lot of damage from the Buster, his stage isn't too difficult, and it's a nice starting point. In fact, the devs agreed so much that when it was time to choose where the cursor would start, they wanted the cursor to land directly on Cutman. So every time you boot up the game, your cursor will be on Cutman.
Alright.
What else? Oh, I should probably also mention Cutman was one of the first characters designed for the game and was originally thought to be the playable character. However, once the focus of the game had shifted to choosing what you wanted to do with it, they felt that letting the player choose what boss they wanted to start with was great, and keeping the sprite sets fairly similar helped with this. Along with that, Mega Man 1 was also projected to not sell very well And because of poor marketing, poor planning, and a box art that would make a sane person scream, yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. Mega Man 1 didn't sell well, and Capcom told them no to any sequels, remakes, re-releases, or anything. However, the dev team loved the idea. They loved this series. They loved working on this series, and told Capcom, can we make a sequel? And they said, fine, you can have your Mega Man 2. However, it has to be a side project, and it cannot interfere with any project at the moment. And most of the dev team was working on Street Fighter 2, so... Oh, also, to go along with this, I'm gonna be showing off a glitch in this next room. Or no, I already skipped it. Never mind. Don't worry about me.
You're phony.
Aw, poor Big Eye. He tricked me. He was like, look, I can't even hop up there. You can come down here. I go down there. Thunk!
Bonk. Let me try to get to chat here. We got a lot.
Yeah, we do. Feel free to talk in a kind of normal volume. It's all right
Sorry
to be.
about that.
There you go. That's not too bad. That's a little bit louder.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. It's not too hard on my ears now. So
I live with them, chat. They have to deal with my constant loudness 24/7.
It's either loud or quiet, and when it comes to stream when I'm away, it's just loud.
Well, I'm a big open person. I'm quite loud on my streams, but
Yeah, but you don't have to do that here. It's okay to just be mellow and chill.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just
Anyways, let me get back to chat. I still haven't told you guys what my favorite Robot Master is. It's a tie between Electman and Iceman. Because Electman's stage is super unique. I really love how you go up and you reach him at the top. It's almost like a tower.
So
and
I'm sorry to get into it. So I pick the order of the stages based on both weaknesses and how I feel I'm comfortable with them. So that is why I chose Bomb Man first. It also stops me from having to backtrack, because if I do Gust Man second, or somewhere within the first 3 bosses, I'm able to not only get Cut Man, which is Electman's weakness, but also allows me to get the Magnet Beam, a required item for this game. I don't know why I'm stuttering today.
Stutter. Alright. I'm gonna try to catch up with chat now. Space Boy says, I think the Japanese version of Mega Man is called Rockman. It is.
Yeah, it is. So the reason why is a pun. It's Rock and his sister Roll. And then the 8 bosses. Proto Man is Blues. Bass is, of course, Forte in Japan, and those are all music references.
Don't forget Rush and Gospel.
Of course, cannot. And Beat, of course, and Tango.
And Beat and Tango. And Ballad and Anchor.
And Reggae and Punk. Anyways. Aside from us just naming characters at this point. So, the reason why is because Capcom's president at the US branch did not think the pun was very funny. So instead of calling it Rockman, he thought he was pretty mega and went with that. He just liked the idea of it being a superhero. Here's a glitch for you guys. Hold down, and Mega Man does the jitters.
When you misplace the remote and your mom's coming home.
Where is it? Me when the TV is just really... when something comes on the TV and I'm like, no, I want to watch cartoons. Oh, where is it?
Alright, let me try to catch up with chat. I'm really behind.
Very much so.
Even though it's written in katakana as Bomberman, phonetically, it's supposed to be Bombman. I know this still
No.
kinds of slips me up.
No, it's never go. No, listen. It's not written as Bomberman in katakana. It's written in English in the Japanese version.
Now, the only thing I could see why they're saying that is Bomberman with
Okay.
a U. That's not supposed to be an ER. They would have put it with an A instead.
Yeah. No. But it's not Bomberman. It is just Bombman. They did not mistranslate this. It is written in English in the manual as well. Don't be trying to misdirect the audience here. Most of Mega Man takes place in the US. The first game is taking place in Japan. However, Dr. Light is an American scientist. Dr. Wily is a British scientist. Rock and Roll phonetically can speak both Japanese and English. The only reason that Dr. Wily was able to get away with this is that all of these robots were stationed in different parts of Japan at the time. The second game even takes place in the United States. But that's how you beat Electman. Just 3 hits and you're done. Alright, go ahead and continue shooting checks. It looks like we got even more.
Yeah, oh no, it's stacking. I'm sorry, chat.
Yeah.
Bomberman, Bomberman is with a U, is how it's pronounced phonetically.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
let me get through chat.
Let me read real fast here so I can answer some questions because I wanna just breeze through this. All the way up to Rockman. No, it's called Bomb Man. They do not change it. Your max characters for the NES is 4 in terms of the lettering that they were having to use at the time. So what you get is Bomb Man. What are you talking about? This is KE949. We were talking about the names of the bosses and how one of our audience members thinks it's Bomberman or Bomberman, but either way, it's not. It's Bombman. Bomberman is a character by Hudson Soft. Hello, Wolfinator Gaming. Just like Notable says, it's like one syllable off how it's written in English, and it's not entirely sure why they... No, they didn't change anything. Just a Motobug. You're confused. Yeah, no. I'm sorry to start this, but no, I know pretty much everything there is to know about this game. There is no confusion in the name. Guts, Cut, Elect, Fire, Bomb, Ice. That is
There's a reason why his name is Electman and not Electricity Man.
because they could only have up to 4 letters, and in the manual they don't call him Electricity Man, they call him Electman. When they did the remake Powered Up, they kept it Electman. So, it is Electman. They kept it Bomb Man. They never changed it. There was no changes. The only change to name was they changed Rock to Mega when they did the translations to the States. And even then, some people still call him Rock.
Because of rock and roll. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So we're going into Iceman here. We're on a beach side, but it is freezing cold. Underwater here, this is the first game, so the water physics here are actually... Mega Man's too heavy to do the high jump floating physics. So, if you're wondering why I'm not doing really high jumps and moving at the same speed, it's because Mega Man's armor actually isn't as thin as it would be, thin and light as it would be in the second game. So, yes, the robots are upgraded as we go along. So right now, I'd like to also mention that we are going to be playing 2 after we finish 1 immediately, so once the credits finish rolling, that's where we're at. We're also coming to one of the trickiest sections in Iceman stage here. But it's not too bad.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Motobug is still continuing.
Please
He
stop.
says, yeah.
What did he say this time?
He said, phonetically, it's written Elekeman.
No, it's not. Will you cut it out with the lies? It is Elekman. It is written in phonetic English in both the manual as well as the game itself. Any Japanese translation is just for young children to understand the English being used. It was an excuse to have English teaching tools in a Japanese title. Most Japanese games do this so they can have at least some amount of quality in, as a teaching tool.
That's why some Japanese products have English words in them.
Most of them do. Because
That's true.
most Japanese products want to make sure that tourists are also able to get a hold of things that they're not that used to it, and it also helps teach young children that yes, they too can learn English. So no, it is not Bomberman, it is not Bomberman, it is not Electman, it is not anything. You are very confused on the meanings and reasons behind the reasons they use English in Japanese. I wasn't expecting this to happen today. What?
Well, I can tell you right now, Gavin, the Yoku blocks and Heatman stage are kicking my butt right now on NES.
That's okay. You know what?
Here, let's just change the subject. Let's see here.
How about from this moment,
Bird...
Casey, from this moment on, if there's another weird translation fact that is incorrect in the chat, don't even bother.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I want to get to the lore and whatnot. So, I've said the story, but there is a little bit more lore to it. Not all these bosses were reprogrammed properly. All they did was change the personality data and remove the robots cannot harm a human code from their line. In the Ruby Spears variation, Elekman was the first person to shock somebody, who he basically shocked out Xander Payne's eye, which caused him to want to destroy all the robots, starting the Emerald Spears. So, there's a bit of fun fact for you. Also, to go along with that, Fireman here was one of the most reused bosses. He appeared in both Fully Charged, Mega Man's Powered Up. This game, he had a Battle Network counterpart, as well as as well as some minor redesigns for both the Dreamwave comic series and other subsets of the Mega Man series. Fireman is one of the most reused bosses, alongside all of the other 8 Robot Masters. Gutsman is the only other one to have just as many redos and redesigns.
By the way, Spaceboy, none of us have, Gavin and I have not seen the Mario movie yet, so please no spoilers in chat. We're seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're seeing it tomorrow. We'll have a video on the Mario movie probably next week, where we'll talk.
That's all we ask, chat.
Yeah, we'll talk spoilers and stuff after that date, and we'll give everybody a fair warning for the first couple weeks. But for now, I have not seen it, and I don't want any spoilers. I know a few things that happen in the movie, like the Mario Kart scene, thanks to the trailers. I've seen the Kongs. I've seen the DK rap Grant Kirkhope not being credited properly. But other than
I still hate that.
Yeah, me too. But other than that, please don't spoil.
That Yoku block. Oof.
Alright, are we caught up on chat yet?
Yeah, we are.
Alright.
Oh, I was gonna say that Spaceboy made a remark earlier saying Rockmen do really be like a rock. He sinks in water.
Yeah, he do. Speaking of sinking in water...
let's see here. Chronobird also asks, that's a beach? I thought this was a mountain. Yeah, Iceman stage is a beach. You could tell by the palm trees.
Yep. It's meant to be a beach. Fireman here is a thermal waste treatment plant. Essentially, they derive power from also burning trash, which is a lovely thing to do, especially because it kills two birds with one stone. Here's a little trick that we are going to be using in just a bit against a few bosses. This is what's known as the pause trick. So the select button is a normal pause, because they weren't entirely sure what they were going to do with the start button early on in development. So they needed a way to pause in case somebody needed to take a drink, if somebody needed to test something, so they used select. However, this came with some unnatural features, such as the invincibility frames for certain enemies running out midway through your pause. So this is a glitch and a trick that is continued in all versions of Mega Man 1 except for Powered Up and I believe the mobile phone titles. Mobile phone version, sorry.
It was used in the... No, I was about to make a joke about how you said the mobile titles.
Yeah,
I was gonna say...
I'm talking flip phone.
I know, I was gonna make a joke that, oh my gosh, the Battle Network game on flip phone also had it.
Not quite. Alright, we're officially most of the way through the game. This is Wily Stage 1. He has repurposed a old robot factory that has since been shut down. This was meant for wartime purposes, however, wartime purposes have ended. So, there is no need for warlike robots. You can just kind of freeze the big eyes. That is your best bet for getting through there, however. And then after that, we have the guts blocks here. This is one of the trickiest jumps in the entire game. However, if you're just barely on the edge, you can kind of slip past each of those. Even with one mistake, we're not too far gone. Mega Man will die to 3 hits to the big eyes, so that's why they placed exactly 3 right before the start of the castle here. Spikes are littered all over the place. They're one-hit kills. We have lots of jumping fleas here. We want to be sure to just kind of stay out of their way, because they are absolutely annoying.
They're a big menace.
Thunder Beam does work for getting rid of those blocks as well. However, I like to save a lot of Thunder Beam just for the boss. Even if I don't have to, it's just nice to have it. To go along with some of my other facts, I've mentioned before about the Megas. The Megas have a version of this song, which is my favorite version. It is a remix of this track with rock and roll, and it's all about a battle between the two. Between Mega Man and Dr. Wily, and Light watching in horror from the sides. Mega Man asking what you've done, and Dr. Light just saying, "You're a disobedient little shit. You have to, please, respond, do as you were told. You're misguided. I am the one true Messiah," which is wild to me. It's really an interesting song. So, it's the song I believe is called "What Have You Done," and it plays all the way through the boss fight, the intro stage, and the credits. But here we are at the Yellow Devil, also known as the Rock Monster in Japan. But this is the pause trick. As long as you can give it 1 frame of movement, you can just keep hitting select and absolutely beat the Yellow Devil with 1 point to spare. The Yellow Devil is, of course, a background element, but the blocks that he throws at you, which is also his body, are not. So when you finish the boss off, he's of course going to be kind of still visible in the background layer, because there's no masking. But now we're on to the bridge here. This is Wily Stage 2. I hope the chat's been enjoying so far. I'm sorry for getting a little upsetty spaghetti, but you know, I'm big on knowledge with this game, and any misinformation absolutely drives me nuts. So, here we have the first of a refight, Cutman. So these redone Robot Masters don't have the IC chips, so they don't have the personality data. They are just meant to follow So this is a great time for me to show off Cutman taking lots of damage from the Buster. His pattern's fairly simple to do, just jump over the scissors. Try not to get hit. Ah, one hit on Cutman. That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Chronobird says the yellow jello.
Yeah. He really is like a he really is like a Jello, which is just fantastic. Since we are a majority of the way through the stage so far, I'd like to remind everybody to drop some likes and subscribe and whatnot.
Play-Doh Man says Space Boy.
Hey, however you want to look at it.
Sorry to interrupt you like that.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Really funny to me.
I should probably also mention that the Yellow Devil is specifically a combat robot. The only part of him that is actually a machine is, believe it or not, the eye. The rest of him is just a gelatinous goo that is stimulated by electricity. So, if you shock the eye, essentially it's lost control of everything else and is completely useless. Because it requires the gel to move. Fun facts with electricity. Essentially, it's like the story of Frankenstein, where they move the electricity to get something to move. They use electricity to get the monster to come to life. However, in this case, it's more or less a, you know, just kind of a blob of thing. Also, it can't speak. The only words it can say is boomo. It has its own native language that the robots can decipher because there is enough of it. But it's very rough, and it's very clear that both Mega Man and any other bots that fight him don't entirely know what he's saying or why. There is rough translation for some people. Some believe the Yellow Devil is actually very well spoken and has almost like a British tongue. However, that's neither here nor there. This right here is the copy bot. Looks
I
exact.
would love to hear a British and like pompous Yellow Devil. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think it'd be very like just posh and just like boomo, boomo, boomo. You'll get to hear that when we play through Mega Man Powered Up, which is a lovely time all around.
Mr. Nicehead says Michelin Man. You guys are just going to town with making fun of the poor Yellow Devil.
Oh boy. That's okay. You guys can. Here's a fun glitch. If you rapid fire right up next to an enemy, it doesn't kill them for some reason, even though there's definitely more shots going into them. That's because the game doesn't calculate for rapid fire. At the time, there was no rapid fire controllers for the NES out yet, and for the Famicom at least, there was only one, as far as I could tell in looking for listings. So it essentially wasn't really on the forefront of the developers' minds that somebody would go right up to an enemy and, well, rapid fire. Rapid is allowed via this collection, however, it's really less useful just because it doesn't always hit something. This game is also very well programmed. Behind the scenes, most of one of the main developer for this, the head director, essentially used to work on heavy machinery. And if you know anything about that job, if you're programming for heavy machinery in Japan, especially at the time, if something bad were to happen, like somebody were to get killed, which did happen by the way, the programmer was liable for the murder. Even if it was unintended, which could ruin them in terms of career, as well as make them go to jail if any malice was found. Literally, essentially, when it came to programming, it was life or death. So, when it came to programming Mega Man 1, they went through with a fine-tooth comb and tried to pick out any bugs. Items are stuck in walls? Not a chance anymore. So, yeah, that's why if you watch one of the if you get an item stuck in a wall, it'll zip out to the nearest exit. The easiest place to see it is in Cutman's level, but I didn't really get to show it off there, so.
I've seen some pretty crazy stuff, chat. Like Mega Man's big head just flying off screen as fast as it could.
They really did not want players to feel like this game was not polished enough to be a good game. Most of the team who worked on Mega Man went to work for Capcom because they thought Capcom had some of the most polished games on the NES and arcades. So essentially, because Capcom didn't put out any bad games and they didn't want their name listed with any bad games, let's work for Capcom. So most of them did. So that's how we have Mega Man 1 being one of the best designed games in the series. And one of the better programmed games in the series, even for so early on. Which is just wild to me. So here we can see lots of Gutsman little statues in the background. I believe these are bots to be let loose at any time. However, they're just kind of spare bodies. They're not really... They're no smarter than the robot we're fighting in the stages. To go along with that, Dr. Wily was the one who actually designed Gutsman. So, in terms of Gutsman, yeah. That's what's up with that. I believe an internal design contest was held for Mega Man 1. However, I'm not entirely certain since very little is known about that side of things. Keiji Inafune was brought on quite late into the game's development to do the promotional art for the game. Oh, that's another thing I should mention. Oh, Casey, your controller's picking up on the mic.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. So, since Keiji was brought on so late into the development, most of the sprites were already done. He was just drawing based on the sprites. Some of the bosses weren't done, like Bomb Man, and some things like Bomb Man and Elect Man. But a lot of them were already finished with sprites, and they had to just kind of interpret what they were basing it on. Especially Mega Man. On first, he was actually sprited out first. So, yeah. And if you're wondering why Mega Man is blue, this is a big question that is asked around quite a lot. But guess what? He's blue because the NES has the most amount of colors in the blue spectrum compared to everything else. So, he's blue because the NES had a lot of it. But there's how you kill Iceman with only one Thunder Beam. Which can
That's
be
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The factoid on why he's blue.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that they like to put on newspapers a lot. Like, why is Mega Man blue? Grab this book to find out. And for the longest time, I was like, why is that? And I didn't want to buy that book. And then I found out, oh, he is blue because the NES is color palette. And I'm like, oh, well, that's underwhelming. But here's the rest of the Robot Master refights. They're always in the same order, so you don't really have to think about it too hard. Hello, Zenny. If you guys want to read the Casey, catch up on chat for a little bit, because it looks like we have a lot more talking.
Yep, that's true. Let's see here. And today, most stuff have clear bugs. I believe that's when we were talking about bugs.
Yes.
This is nowadays they say that the bugs are features.
Sometimes they do. There are still
But sometimes they are.
No programming is going to be perfect. So even Mega Man 1 does have bugs. It's just that they were very well hidden for the time. So like things like Minus World glitch in Mario 1, that was known. But zipping around in Mega Man, like the most that they knew was that the magnet beam here, with the way it was programmed, he zips down to the ground faster. And the reason is because it's basically like taking away the platform from Mega Man. He didn't jump, so he doesn't have the jump physics, so the gravity is going to be very high. So that's how that functions.
Alright, let's see here. While back then they polished it, worked out any bug they can find.
Yes, Capcom especially like to do that. They still do that to this day. I don't think I can name a really broken Capcom title, because most of the time Capcom puts out some of the highest quality titles back then and nowadays, so...
Didn't Capcom have a two fighting games on Game Boy, actually?
They had quite a number. They had Street Fighter Alpha, They put out Street Fighter 2, which while it was well programmed, it also wasn't the best. So they went to Crawfish Interactive when they did the alpha games, and they did some wonderful work on those. But there's Mega Man 1. Wily is beaten. This is the Wily machine. So that's how that's done. Once again, this game is very short and sweet and to the point. It's very tough, but it's very fair. I feel like this game isn't that bad, but a lot of people do. I actually feel like I take this really easy on this game, and Mega Man 2 is going to be really interesting to go into. Especially because this ending track, if you've never heard Mega Man 1's ending, but you've heard Mega Man 2's opening, you might realize it's kind of sort of the same song. They actually had the same composer for 1 and 2, so when it came time to do the opening for 2, they wanted to sort of bring it in like it's a continuation. It's a continuation of the story, so this track was remixed with mildly different instruments in a different key in order to make it sound like we're starting a journey instead of ending it, which I gotta say, it works well.
You won't believe what just happened.
What's up?
I died to Metal Man on one hit on both of us.
Oh boy. Well.
Anyways, let me get to chat while the credits roll.
Mm-hmm.
Zenny has joined in. They say hello.
Hi, Zenny.
Space Boy says he's blue dabba dee dabba die.
Everybody's having some fun with this today, I could tell.
Zenny asks how we are, both of us.
I'm holding things together. I still am probably a little sick, but I should be getting better soon.
I'm doing okay. E. Let's see here. I do appreciate the stuff that they outsourced back then for NES, like Ghosts and Goblins are more comparatively lower quality. Well, here's the thing, though. Ghosts and Goblins was a rush project, if I'm correct.
Nope, it wasn't rushed. They just only had 2 developers. They outsourced it to the same people they had to work on 1942, because Capcom at the time didn't have any NES developers. It was all arcade ports. Mega Man was the first NES title, home console title, that Capcom ever made. So, everything else up to that point had been ports of arcade titles. By the way, the game crashes here in most versions of this game, so unless you hit start on this version, it'll just kind of hang. But let's go ahead and get started with Mega Man 2 real fast. Oh, I should probably also go into the details of there are bios for every single character, every little enemy, everything in this game, and the Legacy Collection lets you see that. I didn't show it off for any of the other ones because there's huge databases. We see production art for everything, but yes, Bomb Man was just Bomb Man, as you can see there.
And this is the most recent database of them that's official.
Yes, this is the most recent database that was put out. This game can sometimes go for $10, so it's rather cheap, which is nice. We've got character, like, height charts and everything, how everything's supposed to look and feel, and colors, color IDs, even unused enemies. The Bomb Man. See, they even said it right there in the early concept art. Here's some of the stage design art. You can take a closer look at all of these, too. Early designs for Dr. Light and Wily. Fireman. This design here was used partially for the fully charged design. But as you can see, they really did take a lot of care into what they were designing.
Can we look at Dr. I think that was Wily?
The old design that before it was... Yeah.
Hold on, I think my thing is desynced. Yep, it's extremely desynced. I kind of want to say that he, like, based on his head shape and everything, he kind of looks like Cossack.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and the early light too. It's just fascinating how they went with it, and what got changed.
I like how they kept the hair for Wily.
But they made it crazier.
Yeah.
This is an art piece that has a fully colored version. I have used this as a background base before, and I've redrawn this castle a few times, but we never see it. This is what the Wily Castle looks like in Mega Man 1. This is the robot factory. To go along with this, there is a fully colored version that wasn't included in this collection. This was later uploaded to Capcom's website. They just didn't find it in time for the collection, so...
Wow.
Here's an early version of the final boss. Here's another.
Ooh.
Here's another. These were later reused for Powered Up in certain design stances, and I can't wait to show those off. But here's the terrible box art for the States. No, I don't like it either. So let's just jump into Mega Man 2, shall we? Go ahead and catch up on chat if you could, Casey.
Alright, let's see here. You could tell what games they produced in-house and not from the polish alone. They really did some home ports for Ghosts and Goblins dirty. Well, see, the only one that I actually do like a lot is the Game Boy port of Ghosts and Goblins. That one actually runs extremely smooth for Game Boy.
The arcade game is also really good, too.
The arcade game is amazing.
So I'm just going to let this title screen play out for a little bit. But yeah, no, we have breezed through this. Next week we're doing the Wily Wars, so we'll actually have a lot of time to really sit and discuss things in each of these games, and I feel like we might have more to say there because we'll have more time. But for the NES versions, this is what we're running with. But there we have a little bit of a story, and we've got a difficulty select. This is not here in the Japanese version, but I wanted to show it off because Wily Wars is going to be on difficult, so we're going to go on normal. But 1 year and 1 month after Mega Man 1, Quickman attacks the Light Household, and now it's off to the races. Mega Man has to go stop Dr. Wily once again. He built all these bots just to combat Mega Man, so... yeah, and some of them reuse some of the design elements found in Fireman and Cutman and Gutsman, so we're going to be hopefully getting through all of this. But let's start with one of my favorite bosses in this entire series, shall we?
Quick.
We're going quick. I gotta show off a little bit. So, this used to be, his stage used to be my banner for YouTube. And then I changed it. And then I changed it again. But regardless, it was because I was very proud of myself for being able to do this. Speaking of, Casey, would you like to tell the chat what you were able to do on Genesis yesterday?
The exact trick you're doing right now. So this trick is extremely hard to do. It's used by a lot of speedrunners and a lot of people who just know this game all too well. It is an extremely difficult trick to pull off because you have to be almost precise with every single movement you make.
Exactly
Any
precise.
stutter can cost you.
No. Alright, that's my wake-up call, I guess. I'm gonna try not to rewind. There's probably only gonna be one boss where I will rewind. I don't think Mega Man 2 is that well designed, specifically for the ending castle. It's very clear they had a lot of playtesting for all of these levels, until you get to stuff like the, Wily Castle, where they just kind of, it feels like they dropped the ball a little bit, but that's my opinion. A lot of people hold this game really dear. Some people say it's the best in the series, and to those people I say, you're lying. You're kidding yourself. You're fooling yourself. 2 is not...
Unless we're talking about the OST.
The OST is great, but Mega Man 2 is not the best in the series. But here we have Sniper Joe Riders. Everything's got a more polished feel here than it did in Mega Man 1, so... 2 is a pretty good starting point, but it's not my go-to. You have to know going into Mega Man 2 that it's not the best. There's a lot more bugs than there was in the first game. It is also the last time that we see the lead director for this for the series in the main chair for this. Usually we see it. He would have usually stuck around for all of the games. However, like I said, he was a machine programmer, and programming was quite stressful for him. There is no reason to go talk to him, and in fact, the American fans have harassed him about Mega Man for years now, even though he hasn't worked in Capcom since Mega Man 2. And fans harassing him about it made him become a recluse, so now it's actually impossible to get a hold of him. So, for that reason alone. However, this was a passing of the torch moment. Keiji Inafune was on for most of the directing for this as well as a co-director and artist, so there's that little fun fact. But that's how you beat Quickman, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, Casey, could you check chat real fast? Because it seems like we've got a lot, and...
By one person, by Motobug, so I'm gonna hop on that. They said 2's Japanese difficulty was easier than I thought it would be, considering they made a difficulty option for the US release.
It was just to give the players more options. This was chosen by the dev team in Japan, and is in every other re-release of the game, including Powered Up, the Complete Works, the Anniversary Collection. Literally any other collection has the difficulty option, even if you're in Japan. So, it was intended by the Japanese devs. They just didn't have time to implement it. Since the US team had plenty of time to translate, since most of the text was in English already, I mean, they just went for it.
Some bosses can take as much as 2 to 4 points of health in the Japanese game.
Yeah. I mean, that's how a game works when you have a jump and shoot.
Woodman literally getting one hit killed with a fully charged atomic fire in normal compared to half health and difficult.
They're kind of moving through my facts a lot faster than I am right now. Before I'm ready for it.
Yeah, they are.
So Metal Man.
This...
Yeah. If you can read it out if you want.
I was gonna say they did change it up. They said this game was as a whole is pretty damn fun to replay. They prefer 7 a whole lot though.
Yeah, I prefer pretty much any other game in this series.
Well, 2's stages are really fun. It's just the ending is eh.
The ending levels irk me too much for me to actually have a whole lot of fun with this game, which is upsetting. But Metal Man here is rather easy. And just like that, he goes down. Quick Boomerang is technically technically lucky. I didn't even get hit.
Yeah, I got hit. I'm still dead. I'm trying to play along with you, I guess.
You don't have to play along with me. It's okay.
It's more or less because I'm like on the Wily stage on Genesis, but not on the original, and I wanted to test the original out.
Ah, I see. In terms of showcasing stuff, generally I wouldn't go in weakness order. I'd usually try to fiddle my way around the whole game. But in this case, I am gonna do weakness order. Sorry for the background and Bubble Man stage. The refresh rate at this game does not like this background. Older YouTube videos on this stage are not kind to it. And for me personally, this background kind of hurts my eyes. Wily Wars did a lot to mitigate this, and yeah.
Yeah, the refresh rate on the live stream is killing me right now.
I'm sorry. It'll fix itself once we get into the water. I'll wait on this screen for just a second for it to catch up.
By the way, you didn't show off that Quickman shows off when you use the wrong weapon.
Oh, dang it! Oh, shoot. Well, I guess you should have mentioned it. Oh, boy.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's alright.
It was the first stage you tackled, though, so you wouldn't really show off too much.
Yeah, if you hit him with the wrong weapon, it's not his weakness. He just kind of deflects the shot and then stands there looking all fancy. Like, he doesn't do that in the Genesis version, so... I'll have another chance to show it off way later down the line, but for now, Bubbleman here is very simple. Bubbleman is, his stage isn't too hard. You just gotta know when to let go of the left button, the right button. Metal blades are super useful, but I like quick boomerangs because I'm a funny guy like that. Quick boomerang, you know, that's pretty fast, but rapid fire, much faster. I actually just kind of prefer using quick boomerang. They're just more fun. You can do more fanciful stuff with it. Now look, another extra life. I'm hoping that we have a very easy time here. Oh boy, refresh rate's gonna kill again. These guys here, as long as you don't really stop, you can actually manipulate these guys to just fall right after you've already passed them. I'm not going to be able to show it off here because I fiddled around a little bit too much. But, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Metal Man, jump, they said. It'll be fine, they said.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Also, Bubbleman doesn't do anything if you're up in the air. He reacts to Mega Man being on the ground. That's what causes him to shoot and jump and everything else. So if you're up in the air, he literally won't do anything. And there's actually a little trick you can do with, I think, item 1, where you're just constantly in the air. so the enemy never attacks. If you want to catch up on chat real fast, it looks like we actually have some new people talking, so.
No, it's just Motobug and Chronobird and Space Boy.
Well, no, I mean, read. Go for it.
Okay. Let's see here. They said, I'm sorry, I heard Blobble Man. Wow.
I did kind of mumble my words there. Wasn't trying to.
Wow, you're riffing on Bubble Man? For shame, Gavin. I would have thought of you better.
Oh my gosh. Alright.
No, but for beginners though, Metal Man's weapon is actually the best thing to have because it's inexpensive of energy. And it's quite powerful.
Yep.
You can quite literally spam it and still have enough for, like, the boss of the stage. Just thought I'd give that little tidbit out there.
I'm doing all sorts of crazy tricks with the quick boomerang here.
Jeez, you are.
Hitting stuff behind me and everything.
Gavin is wildin'.
Alright, this is gonna take me just a second to get in the groove here. 1, 2.
No, Space Boy, there isn't. That'd be a pretty cool boss, though. Rust Man.
Yeah, that would be interesting, but nope.
I could actually develop that. Let me see. Or at least in concept. Fluffy Zenny says, don't mind me, I'm just watching.
Oh, come on, I got around the block.
You are struggling so much with that. Go left instead.
There. Scream. The entirety of Heatman, except for one block. So close. Still not too bad, though. That's better than most people would get across there. I used to be able to do it, like, perfectly every single time. but my head's kind of out of the game. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Me being kind of sick is not gonna help things go any smoother. But here's Heat Man. He goes down kind of quick. He doesn't shoot anything when you hit him, like in the Game Boy game, so it makes it kind of easy to just move left and right.
That's a pretty cool concept. I like that. Space Boy is continuing on the thought of Rustman as an actual robot master, saying that imagine Mega Man rusting as he fights him like he got poisoned or something. I could see that, but it obviously wouldn't take too much damage, but I'd see him slowing down for like maybe 5 seconds or something.
Make a whole stage based on, like, crumbling and disappearing blocks.
Yoku blocks, but they disappear.
Like, and stay gone. And then,
Yeah.
like, the metal reforms, and then the rust eats away at it again.
Yeah, like that. That'd be
Ooh.
pretty cool. Actually, you know what?
I like that as an idea. You'd have enemies that, like, corrode stuff and use, like, little bits of acid.
That's what Motobug just said. Kind of like an alternate reality Acid Man. Well, no. See, there's.
You know what?
Acid...
Just base him. Just make a make a classic counterpart instead of fully charged for Chemistry Man.
You know what? Yeah. Hold on.
So here I'm going to show off the Metal Blade. Like I said, very powerful. This tears through enemies. You can even, like, hit stuff that you're not supposed to. However, I'm a tricky bunny. There we go.
Chemistry Man is the most non-threatening looking enemy I've seen. I'm sorry. I said Chemistry Man looks like the most unthreatening villain I've ever seen.
He really isn't much of a villain.
But I like how some people put him next to Acid Man.
Well, cause like they came out, so Fully Charged came out around the same time as 11, so I could see it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Rust Man. How would I draw that? Now I'm curious.
I don't know.
I'm gonna grab my sketch pad. Give me a second. It's like close to me, within arm's reach.
So is
A
Visual
fan-made game incoming? No. It's just gonna be concepts. If I could make it, I would.
So Metal Man is great here, but I prefer Quick Boomerang because you could just do all sorts of craziness with it. Especially with the birds. It deflects off the egg, but all of the birds are weak to it. And those apes really don't do anything once they're up on top. But once you're up top here, just switch over to Bubble because there's some rabbits in the next couple screens that are they need to be washed.
Dirty bummy.
Yeah. That's what people tell me after I get done with streams. You're like, you're dirty. Anyways, dirty bunny. Regardless of my stupid, silly jokes, looks like we got some new people in chat.
Yeah, we got Dark Mega Man coming in to say, I love this game.
Lovely. I'm not a fan. But, I mean, hey. To each their own.
Yeah. Space Boy says, yo, if you draw it, please send it in the Discord server. Actually, I'm gonna try to draw it tomorrow. Yeah.
I do have an OC dump area in our Discord server as well.
I know, it's just just like dubious. I'm a bit dubious about my own drawings in a way, but not really, more so that I just I just don't like my art. I'm weird.
Just Motobug says they hate doing Crash Buster only. Well, that's fine, because we're gonna basically have everything going forward towards it. But yeah, this is the official weakness order for this game. I normally would just kind of fiddle around and switch between whatever I want, but I wanted to show it off, because most playthroughs of this game on YouTube just go for Metal Man, and then they trash everything else in the game, which is fair. Like, that's absolutely something you could do. But it's kind of more fun to experiment with the weapons, and, you know, I want to show off the weakness order, because not many people do. Some people like to say Airman is Woodman's weakness because it can get in between the leaf shield, but it only does 1 point of damage per each time, so no, it's not. And that's why Metal Blade is useful.
Ooh, we got somebody new in chat. Miss Molly Mange. They say, "Hey there, I was looking for this game."
Hi, welcome. I've been playing through the entire Mega Man series backwards, and then after today, starting next week, we're doing Wily Wars, and then getting into the spin-offs. So, we're getting...
Command Soccer!
Yeah, we're doing Soccer and Rockboard, and Super Adventure, and Wily Wars, Challenger from the Future, Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. All sorts of fun stuff. One and
So I
two.
got a question.
What's up?
Are those little blinking things on the middle of their heads actually like the what are they called? The recharge pellets? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't believe they are.
Sort
but-
of like the ones in the Fruit of the Trees in Plant Man stage from 6.
I don't believe they are. But I
Okay.
could be wrong. I know they are a power source at the very least. How many lives are we at? We're at 7 lives, so that's something.
Let's hype it up. Mac came in and said, "Let's get this party started. Game on."
We're on Mega Man 2 right now. We already finished up 1. We did all the Game Boy games within, 2 weeks. We're on Airman now, and 2 shots of Leaf Shield will do it. 4 if you're playing difficult. So 4 for Wily Wars for next week, but yeah, no.
Just the Motobug says allergic to leaves and lemons.
I suppose. Or unless you're real bad, and then in which case you can't defeat Airman.
Or Woodman.
Or Heatman. So I'd be going into more detail on all of this stuff, but there really is no reason. Most people know what Mega Man 1 and 2 are. Generally, it's the other games that really confuse people. For some reason, a lot of people think this is, like, the best game in the series. I highly disagree. I think that, in terms of Mega Man 2, it's great. It's great until you get to the Wily Castle. And that's my honest opinion, and that's something that I know I'm going to... I knew going into Mega Man 2 that people were going to hate me for it. Because I'm not a fan of 9. I think 9 did more harm to the series than good, because it was way too challenging for newcomers. And since there was so many people that could have played 9 that would have probably really enjoyed it, because, it was coming around that era where everybody had a game console, everybody could have really enjoyed it. Instead, they saw this game that was super difficult and just kind of shrugged, so only the diehards liked it.
Seems like we got somebody else in chat by the name of Past Master.
Hello.
Said, "I was traveling to the past and I see you played every Mega Man game."
Yes, I have. I'm also going to be doing this, the other games in the series. So, for those who wonder, why am I doing this in the first place? You don't have to play every single Mega Man game. These are companion pieces to the Ultimate Guide to Mega Man. I wrote those guides as a guide to the lore, a guide to some facts, with some information, some recommendations for newcomers, and these are basically my expanded thoughts as I'm playing them in the most modern and easy ways possible.
Spaceboy asks, Crashman, why that name for this enemy?
So, in Japan, he's known as Clashman. However, when they went to translate this game, they changed it to Crashman, but the manual still says Clash. The Game Boy game says Clash, so I don't exactly know.
But yet, the community still says his name as Crash.
They swap it between Crash and Clash, so...
Interesting. I've heard Crash more.
That's because we're in the States, and more people have played the NES games versus the Famicom titles.
You know, that's a fair point. Just the Motorbug says, I thought I was crazy for being bad at 9 and 10. Okay, 9 is unreasonably difficult. 10 is it's a good starting point.
10 is an alright starting point, especially if you started on easy. Oh, dang it. At least you dropped some health. So Air Shooter will get rid of these guys super quick, super easy. And he will absolutely blow Crashman off course.
Let's see here. We've got a lot of new people in here today. Sorry for interrupting you, by the way.
No, you're good.
Welcome, Dark Cat. They say every game I see you destroy the evil scientist.
Yeah, generally I'm either destroying a scientist as a blue hedgehog or I'm destroying it as a blue robot. I just like doing that. I can't help it. But I hope you guys are enjoying it so far.
And next he will attack the science community in conventions.
I like science. Come on, guys.
No, you're gonna destroy the science conventions with a new theory that will break what we haven't discovered yet.
Maybe. I don't know. Depends on how far along I get.
Alright, so let me see here. I wonder if Clashman makes more sense because his design clashes with the Gutsman inspiration.
Oh!
That's a
I didn't think about that. That's interesting. I always pieced it together as Bomb Man. I never really thought about it as a Gutsman inspiration.
Because if you think about it, well, Gutsman and Bomb Man go hand in hand. They're both demolition robots.
Demolition and construction.
Excuse me. So
yeah, no, I've never thought about it like that. That is fascinating.
Zennies come in, they say, actually, I don't really know anything about Mega Man 1 or 2. However, this is fun to watch, and they're enjoying it.
Lovely. Well, Mega Man 2 was one of those free time games, and it came out right alongside Street Fighter 2. So... Metal Blades take care of Flashman super quickly. However, I like using Crash Bomb, especially because once you have it, you can actually grab this E-Tank, and you don't have to turn around. You can just keep going. I platform, but I have an excuse. I'm a little sick today, so... Anyways.
Oh, do you want to tell chat what I started doing yesterday? After getting that E-Tank?
Yeah, you started going all the way back, trying to go back up to the last part of the stage.
And then I started moving back forwards. Chat, when it came to this game, I'm not really good. I wasn't really good at platforming when I first started. But after a while, I did get used to NES Mega Man, and I just started styling.
Once you get good, you start styling, and then you start getting cocky, and then you start using the weapons all over the place and styling on everything. It's fun. Once you get real good, it's like, oh my god, this falls into place, and I'm just like doing crazy stuff that you couldn't even think of before.
Ooh, we got somebody else in chat now. A person by the name of Razor. They say, "You are Mega Man, the hero. Save the world. I believe in you, Gavin Dragon."
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'd also like to say if everybody could drop a like on this video, that would help me out in the algorithm a ton. There's a lot of Mega Man 1 and 2 playthroughs, so this video might not reach as far as I really want it to. We've played through all the Game Boy games. We've done all of the other NES games. We've done absolutely everything else in the series except for the side games, which is coming up. So please subscribe, drop a like. I plan on doing the entire Mega Man franchise until I am 100% complete with the entire series. So please drop a like, subscribe, do all that jazz. That's my one shell out for the video. Thank you guys so much. Now here's the song everybody likes. So lifeless that it beating off, everyone will slip away. So there are two canonical lyrical versions of this track. There is the lovely version done by Team Sashi. They did 3 versions: a chiptune variation, their original variation, and a big band variation. There is the song Together as One, made by Soundholic, which was another officially licensed Mega Man track. They did an absolutely lovely job, so if you ever want to hear a lyrical version of this track, those two are my recommendations in terms of the track. Parental Floss did one way back in 2006, but I don't really recommend that one because it's kind of more making fun of the game. He's having fun with it, but I think it's still a little rude.
That's fair. Let's see here. Okay, so Bug says, and I guess it helps with the context of the fact that Clash Band's supposed to be in the Sky stage boss, even though his design works more for the terrestrial stage with his drill and or aesthetic.
Yeah, I always thought it was Crash because he's crashing into stuff and destroying it with his bombs. So here's part of the reason why I don't like this stage. So you've already got item 3 usage, then you've got item 1 usage, and if you don't have 4, you're kind of stuck, and you've got to grind on the Sniper Joes or the those little zigzaggy guys. And if you get rid of the zigzag guy and then run out of item 3, you are absolutely stuck on that screen, and it's become absolutely impossible for you to continue unless, you have a chance to.
Yeah, Gavin and I, well, more specifically myself, I got stuck grinding for weapon energy from the Sniper Joes for like a good 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's not great. You just kind of use quick boomerang. Sorry for the flashing, everybody. I should have put up a warning. There is flashing in this game, and it is absolutely horrendous, especially if you use turbo. So I am so sorry for anybody with epileptic problems. Whenever I get close to beating a boss, just look away. I am so sorry. I should have given a fair warning.
By the way, that Mecha Dragon, you could still see his shadow in your,
Yeah, he is a moving background sprite.
which I think is pretty cool. They fixed the problem that was with the first game.
So, Air Shooter is a great weapon to use against these guys. And I think it's about time I show off my favorite little trick with item 2, shall I? So, once it's getting up to speed, hold right. It's silly, it's fun, it's pointless, I love it. So we've got 4 E-Tanks, I can only hold up to 4, so... that one is just gonna go to the waste.
It doesn't count as an extra life?
Nope.
That'd be kind of neat. By the way, you're up to 9 now.
Yeah, I am, have I died yet this game?
Once?
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think I did. I think I accepted 1 death in Quickman stage.
Yeah, you did, so you could start with full health instead of using an E-Tank. You're gonna go for the...
I'm gonna go for at least the 1-up. Yeah, why not? I have time to get extra energy in the next stage, so I should
Dark Mega Man...
be okay. Oh, yeah, you go
Dark
for it.
Mega Man says Mega Man X on Minecraft. Yes, we know about it.
We're gonna do it, don't worry, it's on the docket. It is next month. We are going to be covering all of Mega Man X, ending with Command Mission, because it is a long title.
Yeah. Let's see here. As I continue forward. Yeah, the Motobug says, yeah, I hate this stupid forced utility item usage thing in 1 and 2 Wily stages.
Yeah, I'm glad they got rid of it in later ones. Mega Man 3 notwithstanding.
Fluffy Sandy says, my eyes.
I'm sorry. I don't...
Space Boy says, rave death. And then Zenny responds with, the Ender Dragon Light Show has nothing on him.
I know, right? Every single boss is like that. I'm not even kidding.
So, yeah.
All right. Here's
flashing, but
here's something that's kind of fun.
Go for it.
And we're at the top. And I'm at the bottom. I mistimed it. Jump. There we go. Completely out of item 3 now. It's okay. I won't be using it ever again, so. Anyways, go on. Read the chat.
Yeah. Before we do, I'd like to mention, chat, if you look at the bottom of the screen where those rising and lowering spike traps are, you can see the chains.
Yep. Another thing about the chains is that they damage you. They're barbed.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I should probably mention a canceled game here. So there was a Mega Man Maker of sorts that was being developed called Mega Man Universe. It was a remake of Mega Man 2, and you could create your own characters. In that, it showed those Metal Man Crushers as having spikes on their chains. You could also remove those spikes to make it completely jump through. This is also it would have been one of the earliest playable renditions of the bad box art version of Mega Man. However, it didn't come out, and it's okay if it didn't come out. We have the music. The music does exist online, so you don't have to do it. I just can't use it. I will get copyright struck. I am so sorry, but those remixes are amazing, and you can look them up. They're on YouTube. You can find them. It's an easy search.
Alright. Let's see here. Chronobird says flashing, but Flashman is nowhere to be seen.
I know, right? What a wizard!
You're a wizard, Flashman.
I like that.
Cobra Cadabra has joined in, and they said, I should play some music for your victory, Gavin Dragon.
Hopefully we should be able to do that. That sounds like a fun time.
He starts playing the victory theme from Final Fantasy VII.
Actually, speaking of Final Fantasy, I believe also next month we're gonna try to do Final Fantasy 1.
No 6. Boo.
I'll get to it. I just like one more.
Casey is so biased. Look at her chat.
Bias Casey. So that enemy there is known as a big fish. If you jump, if you do a really big jump, it'll never hit you. But it's really funny to scare newcomers with the big fish.
Big fish.
The name of the enemy is Big Fish, by the way.
You know what that means, chat.
Fish! Anyways.
Fish!
Me having fun aside.
Let me see here. There is so much flashing lights in the Mega Man games that I wonder why Mega Man is not blind already. Because Mega Man is not a human. He can have his photoreceptors changed.
Yeah, I suppose. Here's the Guts tank! This guy is annoying.
Here he comes.
Oh no! So spooky! So scary!
That look terrifying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He can throw mets at you.
Oh, he can. Why
Yeah.
is he throwing them?
No, because on his chest they bounce out of his chest. So those
Oh.
those are bouncing mets, by the way. They're a new variation.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it out.
This is also the introduction of the running mets too. So.
I already have those on the list,
I
think.
All right, we're gonna fill up on item 2 here.
Let's see here. What else do we have? Wizard? Wizard Man?
No, that's in a fan game.
Let's see here. Chrono Bird. What a big fish.
Big fish. Yes, absolutely.
Fluffy Sandy says Mega Man's just built different.
Yeah.
He's built smart, unlike Pit from.
If Pitt's built stupid, and Link's built clever, Mega Man's built smart.
And Sonic is built
Fast.
With Mercedes motor parts.
Sure.
Do you not know that joke?
Nope.
Okay.
Right over my head.
There's a lot of commercials where Mercedes just says, "What the heck was that? Did you just skip
No.
with item
So,
one?"
this is another stage that I hate. This is why. There are pits. You have to use Bubble Lead to show you the path forward. The game doesn't really tell you there's pits in these in these because, you know, they all look the same. What makes it worse is the fact that the enemy at the end of this stage is the Boo Beam Trap, which is an enemy that requires Crash Bomb to beat, and you need every single Crash Bomb to beat it. And to go along with that, not only do you need every single Crash Bomb to beat it.
Want to go for that extra? Oh.
No, that's on Death Spikes. I can't do that. Not do
But
it.
you'd end up with 11.
So clever. Here's a room that tripped me up when I originally played. I was like, wait, what? How am I supposed to... This is what you're supposed to do. I'm going to show you how to do every single one of these rooms without cheating it. Because these rooms look confusing, and then you realize, oh, they're just kind of dumb. Mega Man
counter.
Mega Man will let go of the ladder if you pause, so... I do like to switch to Leaf Shield here. It's a really useful tool. Leaf Shield will only release from Mega Man when you hit a direction on the D-pad. It won't go on a diagonal, but it'll go left, right, up, or down, so... There it's going left. And here it's going right. Up and down. I don't really have much use for Leaf Shield, so... And now here's the final one. You need item 2 for this room. It is required. You can do item 1, but it's not recommended because then you have to make a jump on the platform. And I think that's what they intended, is that you would land on the platform now and then you'd jump across, but it's not... No. Don't do that. Just use item 2, save yourself a headache, and then you're at the end of the stage.
Oh my gosh. So there's a bit more in chat. In Chronobird, when you were fighting the Guts tank, they said gutsy, gutsy, guts.
Gutsy, gutsy! Yeah, thank you. Network transmission, love it.
Yay. Yo, did I just see Mega Man standing in the void? I think that was earlier on.
A little bit, yeah. So here's how we're going to cheese the Boo Beam Trap a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna use item 1?
So first we use item 1, then we come up here, we use the Crash Bomb. Then we use item 1 again.
Oh, so you're not overly using Crash Bomb. I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm, and we use 1 here.
You're so clever.
1 here. It's okay if it doesn't completely destroy them at first. Switch to item 3, bounce it on the wall, stand up, go down here. Crash Bomb here. one more here, and I have 2 left. So we switched back to item 3 to bounce up the wall. And I missed because I got hit. Switch back to Crash Bomb. One more hit. And that's how you beat the Boo Beam Trap. You need exactly that number of Crash Bombs. Yes, there are tricks to destroy 2 walls at once. No, I don't recommend them. They are incredibly brutal. But you can actually go into the final Wily stages with at least, I think, 2 Crash Bombs. And if you do, you have more than enough to actually do a skip on the Wily machine. I'm not going to show that off here, though.
Spitfire says you're a genius.
Not so much a genius as I am a schmuck who got stuck on that stage a lot.
How dare you say that? Take it back.
Take back what?
Do it. Do it.
You are a genius. You are pretty smart.
I can be kind of smart, but I'm not really a genius. Here's
Sure.
another thing about Flashman. He does take quite a bit of damage from the Buster, so he can be an actually really good, easy stage to start on, and give you a head start on Quickman. Okay, time for the funny. Metal Man is weak to his own weapon. Thank you, come again.
Oh my gosh!
And we didn't waste any Metal Blade energy because, you know, it's Metal Man.
I thought you were yucking.
I wasn't joking. Crash Man is wild there. Mega Man 3, all of the bosses are weak to their own weapons as well, but here's where the joke started. Switch over to Woodman. I wait for him to stop with his tornadoes. 1, 2. Woodman here.
Chronobird is in chat and they say Metal Man. Father, why?
Oh boy.
We got somebody in chat named Rattlesnake. They said
Hello.
you're almost finishing the game. How interesting.
Yep.
Yes, this game isn't hard.
This game is not hard when you've absolutely shown it off. So, let's show Quickman styling on us, shall we? Another thing I should mention about Quickman is that he actually... There you go. That is how Quickman styles on us.
Ooh, look at me so fancy. Hits him in the face with a truck.
I should probably also mention that I don't find Quickman very difficult. If an energy pellet lands on the little teleporter, you will not be able to grab it. So,
Not even by jumping to it?
nope, not even by jumping to it, sadly. Here we are using Bubbleman's secondary weakness just to show a little bit more of him. And just like that.
Somebody asks, or Motobug asks, does it say E equals infinite on Dr. Wily's teleporter system?
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Where
does.
does it say that?
Dr. Wily teleport system, E equals infinity.
Oh, it does.
So,
And I lost my right earbud.
oh, I'm sorry. But yes, Rattlesnake, we are almost at the end of the game here. We're going to... You know what? I'm going to Buster the boss here. Why not? Give me more time to talk.
Oh, snap.
So, let me talk about this for a second. Sorry about all the flashing. So we've already beaten a majority of these games. Nope, not going to take it. I will use an E-Tank, though. This is the first E-Tank I've used all game. And so here's where if you could hit if you drop a crash bomb right below the actual portal, as it destroys the enemy, as it destroys the outer layer, it'll destroy the inner layer. So essentially, He'll spawn in, it'll do 1 damage, and as Dr. Wily only has 1 hit point, and that'll be that. It is the only item in this game to do that. Metal Blade's his weakness, though. But it is a nicer version of the Wily machine we saw in the first game. This has been a very clean run of Mega Man 1 and 2, and I've gotta say, so far, this is a perfect way to end this series. Or at least end the main platforming series. Here's one final trick for you guys in terms of platforming. You're having trouble with the goo blobs in this stage? Just hold right. So, we've seen real aliens in this game, in the Mega Man series. We've seen Duo, we've seen the Star Droids. We're gonna see some stuff next week with Super Adventure Rockman. But here is the first hint of aliens, and it is a total fake out. And this fools Mega Man, actually. He thinks that Dr. Wily is actually an alien. However, that's not so much the case. His weakness is the bubble lead, and this enemy doesn't actually have any invincibility frames. So if you could find a way to get him to stand still, it becomes very easy to do. One other thing I didn't show off was that if you hold shoot on the, when you select the Robot Master, you'll get birds instead of the stars. But that's that. That was Mega Man 2. I've beaten every single platforming mainline series Mega Man game, and I've got only 5 videos left with platforming games. The DOS games and Game Gear games, which will be one title. Street Fighter and Street Fighter Cross Mega Man and Challenger from the Future. Mega Man Powered Up. Oh shoot, what was the other 2? I am blanking on the other 2, Casey. Wily Wars? Oh, and 1 and 2 was today, so I guess I only have 4. But that was Mega Man 2. Next week we'll be starting up Wily Wars, probably on Tuesday, if not Monday. I'm gonna have an upload featuring the Mario, or thoughts on the Mario movie. But that was Mega Man 2. It's not my favorite in the series, and it's really tough for newcomers. Honestly, this is my best run yet at this game. I don't play it very often. I usually go for 1, or I go for 3, or I definitely go for 6, way more than I go for Mega Man 2. But that doesn't mean Mega Man 2 is a bad game. It's a good entry point, and if people enjoy it, so be it. And it's a really somber ending here, because the team at Capcom thought that this game was going to sell poorly too, because the first game sold poorly. They thought that this would have been the end of the series, and it would have been really sad. So they wrote this kind of sad, somber piece to be like, yeah, this might be the end of Mega Man. But it wasn't. In fact, it really wasn't. This game sold like hotcakes, making Capcom's higher-ups go, oh my god, we are idiots. And they started making games. Instantly greenlighting 2 Game Boy games, greenlighting Mega Man 3 and 4, as well as greenlighting a DOS game that was made by one of Capcom of USA's interns at the time, who later got to make a sequel to that DOS game as he was working on DOS ports of other games. Those DOS games aren't great, but hey, they exist. The Game Gear game was later given, animes were in the works, and immediately after Mega Man 3, they greenlit not only an OVA, but also the Ruby Spears cartoon. And by the time it actually went to production, Mega Man 5 was out. So, what are my thoughts here? Mega Man 2 is a good game, not a great game. Not my favorite.
We have it to thank for everything else we have, including 11.
Actually, I think we have Smash Brothers more to thank for 11. But honestly, I could also see how you'd say it. Honestly, though, it does a lot of good changes, making 8 bosses instead of 6, lengthening the time that we spend on it, giving us some amazing music, setting in stone that yes, Mega Man has to have good music, and it's gotta have some really fun gameplay. In fact, it's to the point where I actually don't think there's really that many bad Mega Man games. I don't think X6 or 7 are really that terrible, and I'm going to say a lot about them when we get to streaming those. Mega Man 2 for Game Boy is probably the weakest in the bunch, and I think Mega Man 3 for Game Boy is probably the scariest to play. And yeah, that was Mega Man 2. Casey, what are your thoughts? Chat, what are your thoughts as we finish out here?
Funny.
Funny.
Am I still muted?
No, you
I'm
said
not.
funny. Go ahead and catch up on chat real fast.
All right. Well, let's see here. Changeling said to end this game once and for all. And then everyone started freaking out that there was an alien. I actually knew about this before you even showed it to me. Because when I was younger, I used to read Game Informer.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an article on the Mega Man series, and specifically a screenshot of Wily turning into an alien from 2.
Yeah.
And it was one thing that I thought was really weird, because I knew who Dr. Wily was. And it was just bizarre to see that.
Yeah, that little ending bit there is a reference to the Wizard of Oz. Even the comics say, don't pay attention to the mad scientist behind the screen.
Well, everyone, or let's see, or Chronobird says, thank you for the stream. And yeah, Capcom were idiots, but they were passionate idiots.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's that. That's Mega Man 2. I think the final thing I think I should show off here is actually the fact that in the Legacy Collection we have the database. This was also the first Mega Man game to have a full set of bosses made by fans and entered in. So we actually, in the museum, we have a lot of unused concept art. If I scroll down past all the enemies and stuff. But they held a contest. And that was a pretty big hit. And they just kept doing it. Here's the European box. Here's the Japanese box. I think the European one's kind of cool. I don't know why they don't have the US box readily available, but hey, to each their own. Height charts, different bosses, backgrounds. Here's concepts. Other enemies that weren't entirely used. Unused enemy. Sketch of the Wily Machine 2. Unused bosses. Barga Man, Boomerang Man, Bubble Man's early design, Drill Man, Elephant Borg, Green Man, Hornet Man, Iron Man, Kong Man, Light Man, Metal Man's early design, Plasman, Power Man, Pump Man. Yep, Pump Man started here. Shout Man, Sounder Man or Thunder Man, Untitled Sketch, Untitled, different versions
It's
of
amazing
water.
how many of these actually became real bosses later in the game. Or in the game's lifespan in series.
So here's something from the States. The Mega Man refunds have up to $10 when you buy Capcom games. So if you bought Mega Man 2, you actually got up to $10 off of another Capcom title. Which at the time, you might have wanted to buy, I don't know, Street Fighter 2, which came out around the same time. Heck, Mega Man 1 and Street Fighter 2 actually share Street Fighter 1 and Mega Man 1 share a release date. They share a birthday. So when Mega Man turns 35... Street Fighter turns 35, so.
Speaking of Street Fighter, how many of you in chat are hyped for Street Fighter 6?
I'm sure a lot. So, I'll see you guys next week, probably on Tuesday, with more Mega Man. And then, probably talking about the Mario movie in a video on Monday, if I can get around to it. But that's it for today. I have been your humble host, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, drop a like, and share it with a friend, please. We want these streams to get out to as many people as possible, and Mega Man 1 and 2 is one of the most covered games on YouTube, so it's kind of hard to stand out. So, there will be stuff to click on after the video gets done processing, and you should probably check them out, because, you know, I've done the entire mainline platforming series and the Game Boy titles. You've got a PayPal on your screen in the description below. We've also got a Discord down there, along with a Telegram art group where you can check out my artwork. So, with all that being said, I have been your humble host. Good night, everybody.